Now, the speaker. They are tomorrow. We can say but why is that doing?
Such on the issue of the threshold bill that was passed recently, and then the motion of reconsideration. On the 9th of December 2020, this bill and Senate to the Senate for concurrence. This bill was crafted following the submission of the 2022 census result, which puts Liberia's population at around 5.2 million plus. And this submission was done to satisfy the constitutional requirements that are enshrined in Articles 80D and 80E. Shall have an approximate population of kings, as the legislature shall prescribe, in keeping with population growth, a movement as reviewed by the National Census.
It's McGILL. I'm the senior political advisor to His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I also happen to be the spouse of the Speaker.
The example of our President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai. This is why we are here. Let me be on record. This is the national actor of the Republic of Liberia. That is the nucleus of Liberia. Go. Everything that Liberia needs to reflect on the history. Bill, we have a year. But it's
Academy, something that was being done by President Weah, who is celebrated around the world as who is celebrated in Africa. We think that is a serious challenge. There's a serious challenge. Everyone should watch that, because if this woman go ahead and build a football academy, and when he background in football after the exit of the football president, that clearly speaks to the fact that football was not a priority on George Weah.
Allotted, approved by the legislature. If you spend $10 million on a government project, which institution funded it? It also led, for example, of FOIA. One million for Foya Hospital, but there are more people in back money. There's a lot more money being spent for current hospital in Zozo. $2 million in Lofa. Are they giving those money to go back for it and spend on other projects?
Recon, distinguished colleagues, I want to say good morning to every one of you, and thank God that we in 2026. I mean, this is a very pleasant morning. All we can say, we want to tell God thank you for life. He has given us another breathing session that was in the chat room yesterday, where the speaker validated that Cecilia Porkun is his biological sister. That leads us to the fact that Richard Kun, at this point in time, you should recuse. Wife. And if those papers are provided today from now to 12 o'clock, I think Richard Kun will not be speaker anymore.
Well, what is the big news?
The big news in the corridor. Are you people planning to remove the speaker?
But this is not a speaker house.
Are you one of them?
This place is not a speaker office. It's not a personal property. It's not anybody's personal property. Anybody who falls below the belt in terms of legislative proceedings and or requirement, obviously it behooves the members to ask you to step aside.
Do you want the speaker out?
I'm saying to you now, if you perform below the belt, it behooves the members to say step aside.
Is the speaker performing below the belt?
No, he's performing.
Okay, so
he's
you don't want
performing.
him out?
No, I don't want. It's not. I don't want him out. I'm saying he's performing until it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that that speaker have done this, has done this, has done this, that required for us to remove it. Obviously, we'll remove it.
So here is my promise to you. Not as
I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now, and I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it the money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. No money for hustlers. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leak, there's nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see.
Pleasant good evening from Liberia. It is a great pleasure to be on here tonight on the round table, and we are grateful to be back on the program. Today is the 7th of May 2026, sorry, and it's exactly 17 minutes past 10 o'clock in Liberia, making it 17 minutes, 18 minutes past 6 p.m. there in the United States. So it's a great pleasure to be on here tonight, and we are definitely going to bring you all of the very best. So we are basically going to use tonight presentation as a way of reawakening the program. Firstly, we are so very sorry that the program wasn't as regular as it used to be because of so many other personal issues and circumstances that we had. But this is a promise that moving forward we can be able to bring you the program as usual. So beginning Tuesday, we have a perfect space as we used to bring you the program in a reputable way. But tonight will officially be, a reintroduction of the roundtable, things that we want to look at tonight as well, and just dive into some of these conversations, making sure that we can keep you up to date. And Tuesday we'll be here with fresh presentation. My name is William Papa Lockable McGill, and I'd like to urge all of you to keep tuned to your phone, wherever device you're watching us from on Wiz TV. Just follow, share this live, and ask somebody to join the program. Again, let's take this break to be right back.
You have for women, that's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No. No help for women. That's what we know. No money for hustlers.
So indeed, we got major headlines, a major story in your area, and there's no job and no money. So tonight, what are things we are going to look at? We basically going to run through issues happening there within the opposition space, where we have of last Sunday, former President George Weah had to dedicate his radio station Kings FM there near the 4K Colon, church around the VOA belt, and basically you heard so many different conversations with things that happened there. The former president at the time, um, said some things that didn't go down well with the ruling party, and it caused some situations in the in the public in terms of the political atmosphere of our country. And so we will look at that as well. And also Liberia, the country, on yesterday, they gave a draft uh, uh, paper to the president in terms of the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. And the government of Liberia has pledged 2 million annually towards the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court, along anticipation to moving forward with the court. So we also look at that. And also we will, like I said, to run through a recent WhatsApp status from former President George Weah. So it just been a tense situation between the opposition community and statement coming in from to George Weah, former president, issue being established. So on yesterday, there was a ceremony at the executive mansion, and the president did receive a draft resolution to establishing the World Economic Crimes Court in our country, Liberia, and basically. This is something that shows that Liberia is moving forward in terms of reckon to get justice to whatever situation that happened during the 14 years of conflict in our country, Liberia. And the government then says, okay, since we have this paper coming to us to be sent to the national legislature that it can be enacted into law, we will also be able to pledge that annually we can be committed to making sure that the court have an annual budget of 2 million to establish the court to be able to prosecute people that were part of the crimes or act committed during the 14 years of war, people that embezzled, stole from our country, enriched themselves, built wealth out of Liberia, you know, out of the resources of our country. We can also be able to prosecute them. Government officials that took advantage of things that could benefit the larger public, we can also prosecute them, have those things confiscated, and use them for other purpose or purposes that really enough. 2 million United States dollars is already enough to equip, to empower, and to making sure that these people have the court established, functional, be able to prosecute all these people that are found or that will be found guilty of all of these crimes they have committed against our country, against our people, that are something that brought this unity among us as people, showing separation. Just after the 14 years, we have some government officials who stole from this country. Is it enough? Is the $2 million enough? That's something we are also going to look at as well. Is it enough? You can also let us know in the comment. Is the 2 million enough to establishing the War and Economic Crime Court? And another thing could be cost and maintaining such a court in Liberia. Do you think a 2 million can maintain and establish the War and Economic Crimes Court in our country? Do you actually think so? You can also let us know of Liberia seek additional support. The United States government, I think, at times with numbers, there's been commitment from the government of the United States saying that they support the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. This is something that they usually call for, and they've been one country that has always supported the establishment of this court. So I think in order for us to have more funding and making sure that this court is functional, we should be able to solicit ways we can get fundings to keep the court running. How can funding levels impact and public confidence in the court's effectiveness and fairness? I think if the court is funded properly, for me as a person, right? If all of the necessary fundings is handed over to, establishing the War and Economic Crimes Court and in Liberia and is fully equipped, fully funded, I think is something that will bring integrity, will bring a fair justice system that no one is going to play with the justice system there. Because if you commit any crime against our country in terms of economic crime, in terms of war crimes, you are going to be, prosecuted by our court. So I also basically think that the court, lawyers, and prosecutors as well that will be able to prosecute people that will be brought in for these kind of cases at the War and Economic Crimes Court. So it's something that is also essential. If the funding is there, the court will operate independently and and other things. And another thing we should also look at is, beyond funding, what institutional and political commitments are necessary to ensure, the court success. So one thing I can say about this is that I'm not speaking for the court, and let me just make some points in terms of this, right? I think in order how the court can, one recommendation that came out in the public was for the court to have uh, whoever that will supersede the activities of the War and Economic Crime Court being elected instead of being appointed. Similarly to something that we said that should be done to the Supreme Court, Chief Justice should be elected. The reason I'm saying this is we do not want any political affiliation, any political impact from a sitting government that will be able to supersede and manipulate the system. This is basically going to say um, there should be some, strategic measures in terms of appointment, changing that to process. Let the public vote for who they trust to supersede the affairs of the War and Economic Crimes Court, because matter of these are very essential. This is something that the people of Liberia cried for over 21 years, and it was something that couldn't end up into fruition. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf stays up 12 years, and we couldn't see the war and economic crimes also be established, not just being established, but to have someone that will supersede their affairs being elected. And once that is done, it's something that you know will be of great impact to the society and to how people will see the justice system there at the War and Economic Crimes Court once being actively involved into prosecuting people. So we'll also look at recent statement made by former President George Weah, right? And on Sunday of this week, he said, make some response and some things that I just want to throw light on. Even on today, we saw the WhatsApp status from the former president throwing jabs at Wansaki, and he said, let me just find this, and then maybe I can bring it on quickly. Okay, I see it. It's here. Okay, I just bring it on quickly. Let me bring it. Okay, this is to be saved. I just wanna share this on how things are in terms of the opposition community. And let me see if I can share this right. Okay, not this. Why am I having this? All right. I hope it shows up. Okay. All right. So on the string there, you seen something from the former president George Weah, and that is it, right? The former president George Weah. He's saying right on this. He said, "Vanisaki, seriously, you and all claiming UP people took care of me. How and where did that happen? You need to do double check. Maybe you need to ask Boaka who sustained him. No sentiment here, but real talk." So that was one post former president we are made on today, and let me bring the other one right. And okay, let me bring the other one quickly so we can just dive into this, right? And let me bring the last one that he said to the same Vanisaki again, right? Um, okay, so he said, let me bring this before I read it for you, and then we'll go in depth to what do we see from the opposition community with all of these, right? This is the second status we saw from the former president. So it's almost like they the opposition community is up. He says, Vanisaki, maybe you are referring to the RB Bank 5 times creditor, Boyka, not me. You know my history, so don't play politics. So after the statement on Sunday, when the president spoke about buying, the former president spoke about buying President Boyka vehicle, and whole lots of different things. We saw different comments from supporters of both parties, especially for the ruling Unity Party, and they spoke about how they felt and things that was going to be done. And we also saw, a response there from Daniel Sano as well to the opposition community. This is something that is basically important that we look at. We are just into 2026 with 3 years remaining to the 2029 elections period. And basically, we have people in the opposition that are already fighting against each other. We have Thursday, hopefully of next week, will be May 14th, and it's going to be National Unification Day. And we have so many things. One thing that someone told me about this is that our country is still divided, especially with political activities. And it's something that is real. Our country is divided. And this is something that needs to be worked on thoroughly and handled with care. We are one people, despite of politics. We shouldn't go a loggerhead. And I think our opposition community are not doing well for us. Even people in position as well. Government is continuative. That's one thing we've learned over time. And another one is that we expect people in the opposition to show work, tangible work together, bring ideas if you cannot make them happen. But at the end of the day, if you realize and analyze some of these things, you realize at the end of the day that it's African politics, and politics don't really have a good one in Africa. Bring ideas on board, speak to whoever that is leading at that point. Share your ideas, share your vision, share things that you think can be able to better the lives of the people. We currently have the GST now is at 13% from the government on goods and services and whatever. The life of the poor people is getting harder on a daily basis. People are struggling to survive in this country. Things are getting tough. Prices are high. How can the opposition help the ruling government to be able to strategize things that are essential for making our country a better one? We have all of the resources. We have no reason begging people in the West. We have no reason, absolutely no reason to beg people in the West. We should come together as one people, despite of being a unity partisan, a sedition, or whoever, whatever. Come together, work together, make sure that we are basically, bringing ourselves on one umbrella. We should do that. We should. And this is exactly what we need to do. So that is exactly what has happened in the past days, and we see the opposition going a loggerhead. Opposition, imposition, everyone going a loggerhead. It's something that is really, really, this heartening for us to see, and our people needs to be able to come together, and let's make a better choice and position ourselves in the best possible way for that people. So again, it's just exactly what we want, and exactly on Tuesday we are going to be here with a splendid and a great presentation of the program, the roundtable. Thanks to LeBron for joining us on the program, and we hope that you had a pleasant time. We will be here on conversation where we contribute to the topic on the discussion. So we love you all and keep following Wiz TV as we will be here on Tuesday beginning 10 p.m. Liberia time to talk Liberia for all of us and
I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on the story? There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major we got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage, the rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We are major, oh, we are major, hey, yo. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money.